Shotgun with Charlie.
Riding shotgun refers to the practice of sitting next to the driver in a moving vehicle. The term riding shotgun came around after the time of the stagecoach, when somebody used to sit next to the driver holding a shotgun, in case they ran into bandits. My name is Charlie Cook, and I drive a lot. I like to talk to people while I'm driving, so I interview people in my car while I'm driving. Welcome to Riding Shotgun with Charlie.
All right, before we start this episode of Riding Shotgun with Charlie, I want to say that if you would like to support the show, you can purchase some Riding Shotgun and Gungram stickers and some Riding Shotgun patches at the ridingshotgunwithcharlie.com website on the swag and merch page. And if you would like to, if you'd like to help even more, you can get some Riding Shotgun with Charlie t-shirts and mugs and hoodies at ridingshotgunwithcharlie.creator-spring, and that is where it used to be the Teespring store, but they called it something else and they changed it, and that's what they call it now. If you are watching the show and you have not subscribed to Riding Shotgun with Charlie on YouTube, please subscribe to the Riding Shotgun with Charlie channel on YouTube. This is how we can grow the channel and hit the notifications so that when new shows come out, you will be able to see them. All right, so today's episode, we are in Wadsworth, Ohio, and I am with Dave Laird?
Yep.
Laird, I got it right. L at the beginning, D at the end.
Air in the middle.
And Aaron. Very much like my head.
Yeah.
Dave, it is great to meet you.
Ditto.
We are here in we're here in Ohio taking a Faster Saves Lives training class, and this is how we got to meet. And you're out shooting everybody, but we're not going to talk about that.
Okay.
We are going to talk about you. How did you get into gun stuff? You're with so you're an instructor out in Arizona, and
yep.
You're with the you're also a member of the AZCDL, the Arizona Citizens Defense League, which does a lot of really cool stuff. So how did you get into gun stuff?
Western Pennsylvania, growing up on Grandma's farm. I was born in Dallas, but I moved there when I was 2. My dad is former military. My whole family lineage is United States Army, going back prior to 1776. So we fought in the French and Indian Wars. My mother's side of the family settled in Pennsylvania in off the Mayflower. They came from Scotland. Fraser, Wilson, and Peru. My dad's family settled in South Carolina in the 1630s.
Holy crap!
So, yeah. So, we were shooting pop cans and learned on, laying prone with a rifle and fell in love with it. And yeah, I've been shooting guns ever since.
That is too cool. That is too cool. Did you do any hunting when you were a kid?
No. So, funny story.
It's Pennsylvania.
Yeah, no, it's Pennsylvania. I moved out to Arizona when I was 9, and I pretty much served out my whole life there in Arizona. But I went back when I was 16 to take care of my grandmother, and the country boys there were like, "Hey man, let's go hunting." And I was like, "Hell yeah, I got a rifle." So I was leaving the house. I had a .357 tucked in my belt. I had a bandolier like Rambo around my chest. I had my rifle, and my grandmother stopped me. She's like, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going hunting, Grandma." She's like, "Not with all that, you're not. Take all that shit off." I was like, "What?" So she pulled out one cartridge. I had a .30-06. She pulled out one cartridge and she handed it to me. She's like, "There, if you don't get it with that, you don't eat."
Whoa!
I was like, "What? You got standards? Holy cow!" So yeah, I ate, but man, I was real selective.
No kidding.
But that, I don't know, it just changed my mindset about guns in general. It was just that one little statement that grandmother pressed on me that you're gonna go out there, don't waste your time, don't waste your money, don't.
Right.
One little statement made it real clear to me the expectation. So that was awesome.
That is cool. That is cool. All right, so this leads to what? Growing up, some military experience.
Yeah, I did martial arts from age 10 all the way up till I was 18. I always knew I was going to join the military. I had grandiose plans about doing stuff. I mean, I did really well in my ASVAB and everything, and I got down to the MEPS, and they're like, hey, you could work on this nuclear stuff, and you can do military intelligence and all that. Like, you're a bright kid. And I was like, nope, no, I want to be in the infantry and I want to jump out of planes.
Oh my God.
I want to see some combat here.
Right, I'm young.
Yeah, they said, are you sure that's what you want? And I remember the guy slapping the other one, like, hey dude, kid knows what he wants. Go sign right there. So, right. So I did that. I was with the 82nd Airborne Division. I was in the infantry. I was a heavy anti-tank weapons specialist and heavy weapons squad leader. I was a designated scout sniper for my unit.
Wow.
That just means I was the best shots. They were like, you haven't been to sniper school, but here's your rifle. You're going to be doing this. Okay, cool. But no, it was actually really neat because at Fort Bragg we had 3rd Group Special Forces, 7th Group Special Forces. We had another little organization right there at the end of the street that we got to play with a lot. We got exposed to Special Forces from around the globe because everybody would come there. It's the largest training facility in the United States. So,
dude, that's cool.
It was never my primary mission, but I got to be the bad guy that they all got to shoot at and, physically beat the crap out of. So that was a lot of fun.
All right. Is that really fun? Having people beat the crap
Oh,
out
dude,
of
it's
you?
awesome. Like, so they have round robin there, and the SF, one of their final stages of going through training, or whatever, is they get dropped in. They're supposed to go to round robin, and most SF guys can tell you all about that. But that's like their final testing stage, and so this 12-man team gets dropped in, and they wanted to set up a hasty ambush before they get into round robin. Now the trick is
Wait, hold on. What's round robin?
So round robin is the final testing stage. They've already gone through like all their linguistics. They've already learned their specialty skills, and now they're learning how to work as a team. And they're supposed to go into this mock city that's in North Carolina, and the whole city's in on the gig. Like, these people have full-time jobs, they have houses, farms, whatever, and they pretend to be like a third world country. And SF's supposed to go in there and recruit them to form their own guerrilla group to help overthrow the government. Okay, now this is where, the people that live in that town start asking for weird shit. Like, well, we're not going to help you do it unless you get me a goat. So now they have to go find some sort of goat and bring it to them, and then the guy with the goat says, well, you got to take that to my neighbor, and the neighbor's like, I don't want to go. I want 500 gallons of milk or some weird shit, or I need you to help me build a school. So they start organizing all this stuff so they can win over the people, and then of course as they win over the people, then they'll organize and do whatever it is they want to do, right? That's only part of it, But the deal is they actually have to make it to this town. So they get dropped in at night, and they're supposed to move a certain distance through the wood line and all that to get there without being detected. So I won the Gavin competition. My group won the Gavin competition, which is it's a big competition about your MOS with the 82nd. Mm-hmm. And so we were pretty squared away.
What's MOS?
It's your military occupation specialty.
Okay.
So, so it's a really difficult test, and I took my 6 guys and trained the crap out of them so that we would win this division level competition. And so we got selected to go be Op 4. They're like, hey, you guys are squared away, so we need you to go attack Special Forces. I'm sorry, what? I said, yeah, we need you to be like Op 4. We need you to set up a hasty ambush when these guys come through here, because we've narrowed down that this is the area they're going to come through. We want you to ambush them. And they said, if you take out more than 3 or more of their key leaders, like their radio operator, their commander, their medic, if you get those 3 guys, then they're no longer mission. They can't complete their mission, basically. And so that was the big thing for the graders that were grading them. They're like, dude, whatever you got to do, whatever kind of nasty shit you got to pull, right, you got to take these 3 guys out. Well, we made short work of that. They had 5 groups come through in a week or something like that. So we had 1 group a day come through, and we really pissed them off because we set up booby traps, trip flares. I mean, we'd all watch Vietnam movies and stuff like that. Like we set up all sorts of just nasty stuff for them to encounter. And the Op 4, the guys that are grading them, they were super thrilled. We're like, dude, we want to keep you out here. So like, we literally lived in the woods for about a month and pissed off a lot of guys that wanted to go to the graduation ceremony. Oh gosh. So yeah, that was fun. And that's kind of the weird stuff that you get to do sometimes at Bragg. Yeah. They have their own little miniature city there that is built to, because we were training for terrorist stuff before 9/11. Like, we already knew that Osama bin Laden was one of the most wanted people in America and that sort of thing. And they have this little Op 4 town, and it's basically just brick buildings with no windows and steel doors, and you know, we would be opposition in that structure, and we'd have foreign groups come in and do training on room. You know, the SF would be training these foreign special forces guys, and they'd drop in by helicopter or whatever, and they'd come in and they'd attack the city, and we'd put up an opposition force. And we'd pretend to be Taliban before, you know, Taliban. You know,
we were Taliban before.
Yeah, you know, because there was Taliban, but like prior to that, like we were training Taliban, so it's kind of an odd situation. But yeah, we pretended to be terrorists and do guerrilla style tactics, and we'd blow up bridges and stuff like that before they got there, so make it harder for them to traverse in. And it was fun. We just got to do a lot of weird stuff. I'll never forget, we had like German SF one time. And one of my sergeants came by. He's like, because we found them in the woods at night. And I was asking my sergeant, let's get these guys. And I said, no, we're gonna leave them alone. Like, what are you talking about? You know, these guys take this shit serious. They'll break your bones. I'm like, wow. And yeah, they ran a guy over a tank last year. And I went, well, then screw that. We'll go leave them alone. What are you talking about? Let's not do that. I'm not getting run over by a tank.
Right.
So
that's wild.
So yeah, I mean, I had a lot of fun in 4 years down there. Yellow light.
I don't think we went down this road yesterday.
Well, I didn't drive with you yesterday, so
I rode with somebody else.
I can concur.
Right.
We didn't go this way.
I think the car that we were behind was one of the people in the class, but I can't remember. I don't know. All right, so moving on. Let's. Yeah. How does this? So we're here taking the Fascist Saves Live class.
Yeah.
How do you get here? You spent time in the military. Didn't you say you spent time as a police officer as well?
Yeah, when I got out of the military, I mean, I didn't know what to do. You know, it was kind of a hasty decision. I was married, I had 4 kids, and it was just, military life was overwhelming for the wife.
Sure.
And we were working under the Clinton administration, and life just seemed weird. Like, it wasn't in the military in my last year that it was in my first year. It was just a drastic change. And I was like, I didn't like the direction it was going. Like, sort of felt like it would be dangerous to stay in at that point. So I just felt like getting out, taking care of my family, doing that, and ended up getting divorced. Met a new girl, and she was amazing. We started having kids, and then 9/11 happened, and I was itching to go back. And so I ended up going overseas as a civilian contractor for a couple of years, and came back to the housing bubble bursting and being able to get into a good house. And that's when I started working with church security. And then I was thinking about doing a law enforcement thing, and was volunteering with a local sheriff's department for like 4 years, and I loved it. I mean, I had a full-time day job that paid me good money, and then I was doing this other stuff just kind of as a hobby for now. Trying to figure out what I wanted to do with it. I had some knee injuries from being a paratrooper. I tore a meniscus in the right knee. Had to wait to get that surgery taken care of, and you know, going through the VA didn't work. I had to go through, you know, wife's insurance and stuff.
Oh man. Get
that all healed up, and then in the meantime, church security was real interested in you know, more training, lots of training. So all right, well, let's do that. And a friend of mine ended up purchasing a range, and I went there to teach church security. He says, hey, I want you to teach high-level classes for us. And I was like, all right, no problem. But no sooner did I start building the curriculum and teaching the classes, I noticed the students coming in didn't have the basic skill sets. There's other instructors that everybody kind of taught what they wanted, and so not everybody was properly prepared. And so I approached my buddy, and I was like, hey, why don't you let me build all your curriculum, let me train all your instructors, this way we're all on the same page, and then my students are at a particular level before they show up. He said, let's do it.
Yeah.
That blew up, became wildly successful, and they built 2 more stores, indoor ranges. And so I started managing the instructors and the schedules and everything for all the ranges, and just teaching the high-level classes, and really, that's really where it took off. I was like, hey, I'm good at this.
That's cool.
Not just the teaching side of it, but now I'm really getting a kick out of teaching instructors, and so managing this as a business, and it was growing. We started off one store, maybe $100,000 in sales. Now we're at 2 stores, and we were doing $250,000 in sales, and then we were at 2 stores, and we were doing $500,000 in sales. And so when they started opening up the 3rd store, and they were talking about opening 5 more, you know, we were at $1 million.
Damn, that's cool.
And they wanted to know, hey, how do we get bigger than $1 million? I said, well, we need to go to the outdoor ranges. because you're not building the other ranges fast enough, and we're kind of detracting from the range. Like, you know, we have to build our classes around where, like, you close at 8 and we shoot after you close, just so we don't impact the range. So, you know, managing that schedule was tough.
Yeah.
But they had multiple bays, so it was easy to close down a bay and do a class in there. But they could turn and burn multiple shooters and stuff, so you know, it's difficult to shut down a whole bay for a day to do a class.
Yeah.
Financially speaking, so.
Of course.
So that's kind of how DCS was born. You know, I was operating under 3 different brand names, and I was like, it's difficult for folks to realize, you know, training. I can't market training statewide. I'm doing it independently. For, like, we're competing against ourselves.
DCS is
Dynamic Combative Solutions. It's the company that I own. I created, and you know, it's supposed to be like a joint thing with them. And you know, we were all the way to the point of signing contracts and stuff. And then my buddy ended up passing away, and they took on new investors and wanted to go in a new direction. So it's kind of left holding the bag, and I was like, well, I'm already here. Might as well do it. So
right.
Yeah, we went with it, and I say we because I have you know, 10 instructors that went with me, and they said, Dave, we don't, you know, wherever you go, we want to go with you. I was like, awesome, let's do this.
That's cool.
And yeah, it's been a ton of fun. Scary at times, you know. And no sooner did we want to launch our hand-to-hand stuff, COVID happened, and then no sooner did we start getting super popular with the CCWs and all the shooting stuff that we do, and then there's an ammunition shortage. So, you know, and Arizona is big, man. I mean, we love shooting. You throw a rock in any direction, you can hit a range or a gun, you know, firearm instructor.
Wow, this is wild to me as a guy that lives in Massachusetts. All of the ranges. I don't want to say we don't have ranges. We have a lot of sportsmen's clubs and rod and gun clubs and those kind of places, but you have to be members of them. And there's only, I'm going to say there's only, in all of Massachusetts, there's probably 3 places that are public ranges.
Poor guy.
Yeah, like, it's just when people talk about, wait, I was telling someone else, I'm like, when you guys talk about range fees, what's a range fee? And they're like, it's what you got to pay to use the range. I'm like, you're not a member there? They're like, no, you don't have to be a member. I'm like, I don't know what this is like.
Yeah, we've got probably 10 indoor ranges in my immediate area. Wow. You know, and I say immediate area like the Phoenix Metropolitan Valley, so I'm not including Tucson, Flagstaff, and stuff.
Yeah.
And you can be a member, in which case you can shoot for free. And I mean, they have membership levels, so like you pay a nominal fee, like $10.
Yeah.
Kind of depending on how much you're paying for the. But it gives you a lot of benefits too, like, you know, being able to buy ammunition and guns and stuff at a discount by being a member.
That's cool.
So yeah, we have the indoor ranges, and then we have a lot of outdoor ranges. And when I say outdoor, I'm talking we have America's largest outdoor shooting range up north in North Phoenix. It's called Ben Avery, and they're going to
yeah.
They're going to be passed over by Cameo Shooting Sports in Grand Junction, Colorado, real soon. Cameo is an amazing facility, and big outdoor, lots of bays, lots of stuff to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, and we work at. I mean, my company now, we predominantly use all the outdoor ranges because the indoor ranges have their own instructors and staff and classes and things like that, and they sometimes let outside guys in, but it's kind of a hassle. I mean, the cost would just not be beneficial to the student.
Sure, because you got to have an insurance policy, and you got to pay all the extra fees and shit.
Well, I mean, the indoor ranges, because, you know, they want to. There's a little bit of competition there. They don't want you coming in and teaching your stuff. So they want to charge some pretty ridiculous fees that I don't have to do that if I use the outdoor ranges. Mm-hmm. There's one woman that wants to charge $250 an hour to use the range.
What is she, a lawyer? That's crazy. That's nuts.
And I mean, and there's some big name instructors in the valley, and yeah, so. You know, when I was managing these indoor ranges, I was real big about getting, you know, Dave Spalding, Travis Haley, you know, Rob Latham. I wanted to get guys that I knew in there to do their classes. I was like, look, if these big guys come in and do classes, like, that's really going to build in your brand name that you have these relationships.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I don't want to charge them a dime. I want to let them use it for free, because those people are going to buy our ammo. Mm-hmm. Like, when they fly in, they're not going to want to travel with 1,000 rounds. Yeah. I'll have it here waiting for you when you show. Like, I was real big on catering to the customer when I ran the indoor ranges.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, their business model doesn't want to do that.
Wow.
Okay.
That's all right. Well, hey, thanks for playing.
So
that's wild. All right. So you are you remember the AZCDL
Yeah, so it's Arizona Citizens Defense League is kind of like our local NRA. It's the Arizona Gun Legislature non-for-profit. Membership to them is $30 a year, up to $300, and then you have a lifetime membership automatically. You can just pay $300 and have a lifetime membership.
Cool.
Arizona Citizens Defense League has been operating, since before 2010. That 2010 was like their big legislation year, because that's where we got constitutional carry and stuff.
Right.
So they're an awesome organization as far as fighting for Arizona's freedoms and liberties. And so I've always been a member. I've always participated. But they have a separate group called their foundation. And the purpose of that group is to try and raise money to provide affordable education in the firearms field there in Arizona. So, people can donate money to the foundation, and then the foundation is going to, try to pay for instruction or lectures from big names and be able to give free seats to people that otherwise couldn't afford to go. And one of the missions we have right now is we want to bring faster, safe lives to Arizona. We have raised enough money, predominantly through one particular donor, because when we were talking about this guy came through and said, "Hey, I'll write you a check. Get her done."
Wow.
And I was like, oh. So the foundation is meant to, we found a school. I think we might actually have 2 schools that are interested in this program, which of course is, active shooter training. It goes beyond teaching people how to shoot. It gets into, the lockdown drills and the hand-to-hand combatives, and it gets into the stop the bleed and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, that's the stuff that I'm finding most beneficial. Is I have not taken a stop the bleed class, and learning how to use a tourniquet, learning some first aid is super beneficial, because that is a lot of times where people end up dying in a shooting situation because there's no one there that's able to.
Car accident.
Oh my God! Yeah.
I tell people all the time, like, you're 99% likely to use first aid or CPR, and I mean, and if you've got as many kids as I do, and you're wrestle with them and all, then like people are breaking and cutting things all the time, and I don't. My wife's a registered nurse, so I bandage something, and she's like, "First aid kit's over here," and I got them all wrapped up with socks and T-shirts. And I was like, "Yeah, but babe, check it out, field expedient." And she's like, "No,
right.
We have this right here."
I call that when you have to,
I improvised, overcame, I adapted. So
I call that the Mandate.
I like that, the Mandate. Don't tell me. So yeah, she picks on me the same thing about guns and stuff. Like, she knows the proper language and everything, but she's like, "Hey, so I have a Ruger." I'm like, "Go away." And clipazine is one of her favorite words.
Clipazine.
Oh yeah, you mean a clipazine? I'm like, "Babe, don't push that button."
Right, exactly.
She likes to get under my skin with that.
His wives do that.
So, I properly medicate our children too. I'm like, "Take 4 of them." She's like, "No, just one, damn it. You should probably cut it in half."
If one's good, then 2 should be better, right?
And babe, Motrin's candy. Like, it's not gonna hurt anybody. You can have all you want. It's no big deal.
We can all get some sleep too.
So yeah, the foundation's really cool. And when they started it, there was another person, one of my mentors, Mike Abramovich, great guy. He's the Western Regional Director of Training for the NRA out there. And, he's kind of dialing back some of the instruction and stuff. And so they asked him, who would you like to replace you as the Director of Training here? And he said, "Dave." And I was like, "Dude, that's awesome. I'm humbled, appreciate it." And I genuinely, I get along with all the instructors in the state, and I genuinely want, I want people to train with other instructors besides me.
Sure.
Like, I don't ever want to be your holy grail. Because that irritates me. Like, I want you to, because you don't know what it is you don't know until, if you've only been with one instructor, you've only seen one way, you're missing out. I want you to experience all the flavors and stuff.
Yeah.
And then you'll appreciate and value what it is I'm teaching, what it is that they're teaching, because you'll have different perspectives of the same thing. And I think it'll make you more well-rounded. And it allows you to keep the stuff you like and throw away the stuff you don't.
Yeah, this is true. It is good to see other instructors, and your clients might get something from someone else that they didn't get from you, even though you said it one way. Like maybe
happens all the time. That's why I like working with my guys, because each of them has different personalities, different ways of doing the same thing. There's no wrong way to shoot. There's no wrong way to reload. There's no wrong way to to do certain things.
Yep.
If it achieves the goal safely, and you're
That's really what
fast
matters.
and accurate, that's what matters.
Right.
And so we try to teach from that perspective, because I mean we run into people who are disabled, missing digits, missing, don't have the right prescription, like, they have got other eye issues, and
Right.
when you start running into that, then you can't say, well, it's got to be done it's got to be done this way at this time standard. It's like, well, clearly it can't.
Right.
And most of the time, people that are living with a handicap have been living with it longer than you. So I typically ask them, I say, well, here's how I want it done. Now, tell me what you're capable of doing. They're like, well, let me play with that for a second. I'm like, okay, cool, here,
Right.
And then they come back and say, hey, look what I figured out, which is different than somebody says, well, it's got to be done this way.
Right.
Sometimes they're like, you know what, I've decided, because I only have 3 fingers on this hand, I'm going to switch and start shooting lefty, because that allows me to manipulate using these 3 fingers and do everything. I'm like, all right, cool, it works. Let's do
Whatever works, as long as my deal is, this is how I'm going to show you how to do this. If there's a different way that works better for you, that's great. As long as it's, as long as you don't hurt yourself and hurt someone else, if that works for you, then that's totally cool.
Yeah.
Pretty simple stuff, man. So, what do you think about the faster class that we're doing here? Well, first of all, let's admit you're breezing through the shooting portion. You're breezing through it.
I'm not breezing through the class. I'm paying close attention and taking a lot of notes. So far, we're doing. We're just shooting fundamentals.
Yeah.
The most advanced classes I've ever been to have just been the fundamentals, and this is probably something I try to educate students on. There's when we say, Dave Spalding says essential skills. A lot of folks say fundamental skills. Fundamentals, essential skills, these are your foundation of building a house. If you want to be a good self-defender who carries their gun on you every single day, there are certain things that you need to do, and it needs to be unconsciously competent at that level. Drawing from concealment.
Right.
Shooting fast and accurate on target without distraction.
Yeah.
Being able to reload, and I don't ever want to see your head dip and look at things. Like, it just needs to come up and it needs to get done without you looking. Clearing malfunctions. Your slide is only going to do 3 things when you're having a malfunction. When the trigger doesn't work and you tap and rack, you clear the malfunction, you get back on target. If you tap and rack and it's stuck to the rear, it means it's time to reload, so just reload and go. If you tap and rack and you feel that partial movement, it's only one thing. It's a double feed or failure extract, whatever term you want to use. So lock that slide open, clear that thing, get it back in working condition and keep going, but your eyes are going to be focused on all the people trying to kill you and the crap they're hiding behind and the people being injured by them and the blood and the screaming and everything else. So like, you have this auditory thing going on, you've got this visual thing going on. Meanwhile, you're trying to move and give commands, and like, everything else is consuming your time. So this thing in your hands needs to be so under control and just getting done without you looking. So every time you see the sight get on what you want, it should be press, 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 press.
Right.
Clear it, press, press, press. And so those essential skills, that's what I mean by, like, your fundamentals just have to be strong. And if I tell you, all right, now do it one-handed right because you're busy moving your toddler, or do it one-handed left because you have to use this hand. I mean, don't get into, well, you were shot, you were injured, whatever. Like, right. I've closed my hand in a car door and had it wrapped in a cast one day, so now I had to do everything lefty.
Oh, wow.
Because you never know what's going to stomp your day, right?
This is true.
Murphy's Law.
Yeah.
Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. I mean, and we haven't even accounted for the fact that someone might punch you in the face, you get sprayed with pepper spray, that, the sprinkler system turns on, or the fog machine turns on inside a store, the anti-terrorist threat detector, whatever, bells, sirens, and what. So, I mean, there's going to be other things that might be blocking your vision or impeding you from having good visibility that you're going to have to do this stuff without looking at it. And your eyes lie to you. I see competitive shooters do it on the range all the time, is they look and they see something, they try to correct the thing they see, and now they got magazines in their hand, the other magazine hasn't come out, and the slide's still all screwed up, so now they're trying to figure out what to do with all these. It's like, if you just tapped and racked and let that tell you what was wrong, you could have just fixed that thing and then kept going. But your eyes lie to you, especially when you're under stress or trying to move fast. So,
no kidding.
And I guess a lot of that just comes from me in the military, working at night, wearing binoculars, trying to see in the dark. You have to start feeling for your malfunctions and figuring your stuff out. So I was like,
this could be a teachable moment.
This could be a teachable moment, yeah.
Yeah, that is cool.
So yeah, that's the thing is that's what we've been working on so far, and I don't know I think we're going to do a lot more shooting today.
I think today's going to be more shooting in the qualification this afternoon.
And then it sounds like they're moving me to level 2 Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and a different part of town.
Yes, at a different place. That's going to be cool, man.
TDI. I'm stoked about that.
That is going to be cool.
Been hearing lots of good stuff about TDI.
I got to tell you, I used to get the gun magazines, and I'd see ads for TDI in the back.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Like, I hate saying before the internet, but almost before the internet. When people were still advertising in magazines.
Well, no, I think Dave Spalding's done a lot of stuff with TDI. It's like his stomping. That I was told last night that it's like one of his stomping ground areas. But
that's cool.
Yeah, I remember their logo. You know, the TDI logo and
triangle, right?
It could be. I remember a little black circle with white letters, like an oval.
Gotcha.
It had a little red in there. Yeah, and they did. It's funny you say internet because I mean I started thinking about some of the original gun guys. You know, like Jeff Cooper and Clint Smith and Dave Spalding and all these guys that were doing training Masada U before we had internet. Ken McAthorn. And I'm sorry if I didn't name you guys because there's a ton of folks out there. Because I think gun guys nowadays, they have it easy. They've got the internet.
Oh my God, it is pretty easy to get the word out about yourself and about a biz and classes and all sorts of stuff.
The one thing I want to see though is everybody stop bad mouthing each other.
Oh my God.
Social media. I mean,
we like to eat our
as
own.
much as we complain about, we see folks online, in other categories. Like we do it too. Like, I don't have anything bad to say about anybody in the gun industry. There's folks I disagree with.
Right.
But they're good people still.
Right. My attitude is this: we've all got something to contribute. We've all got our area.
Yeah.
And let people be good in their area.
Yeah.
Definitely. All right, listen, we are almost where we need to be. We are going to wrap this up before we hit the road, which is all bumps, and I assume one of the cameras will fall by the time we hit there.
It's going to hit the train tracks.
We are going to hit the train tracks. Up a train. It might be cool to have a train come by because I got the hood cam on, but
yeah, that's true.
Not. Listen,
you got to get the toot right there at the end.
that would be cool. Timing would be cool. Listen, thank you so much for being on the show, man. This has been a pleasure. It's a pleasure to meet you and pleasure to have you on the show.
Ditto.
I want to give you a Riding Shotgun with Charlie patches and stickers, which everybody else can get at the ridingshotgunwithcharlie.com website. And please make sure you we'll put links for all your stuff there.
Okay, cool.
In the show description. But please make sure that you become a member of the Second Amendment Foundation. Their website is saf.org. You can check out all of your pro-freedom podcasts on the Self-Defense Radio at sdrn.us. You can watch Riding Shotgun on YouTube, on Gunstreamer, and on the OpsLens app. And you can listen to the show on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, and on iHeartRadio. And until we do this again, we will see you guys. We'll see you on the YouTube.
I'll give your followers a special coupon.
Oh,
if you guys are in the Phoenix area and you come check us out, you want to come take a class with us, you can type in Riding Shotgun 10 and get 10% off any class that you sign up for.
Love it.
Okay, just for your viewers.
For my peeps.
Just for your peeps, man.
Cool, man. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure.
Yep.
All right, we'll see you soon.